Stop worrying about these 6 things after 70, it's just not worth it. As we age, it's natural to worry about many aspects of life. But there comes a time when you have to let go of certain concerns, especially when you reach the golden years. If you're over 70, it's time to stop worrying about certain things because, frankly, they just aren't worth the mental and emotional energy anymore. In this video, we'll focus on 6 specific worries that, after 70, should be left behind. And trust me, letting go of them will improve your well-being and bring a sense of peace. So let's dive into the 6 things you no longer need to worry about as you enter this exciting stage of life. Let's start by addressing the fear of being judged by others. At 70 or beyond, it's time to embrace the freedom of living life on your own terms. This fear of judgment often starts in our younger years and stays with us throughout much of life. Think back to your younger days, perhaps when you were in your 20s or 30s. You worried about how you looked, how you spoke, and even how others perceived your actions. Maybe you avoided wearing that outfit because you were concerned it wasn't in style, or skipped speaking up in a conversation because you were worried about saying something wrong. The truth is, we spend so much of our younger years trying to fit into the expectations set by others. But at 70, those concerns no longer need to dominate your life. By this age, most of us have already been through a lot of experiences, seen both successes and failures, and come to realize that people are too focused on their own lives to judge ours as much as we might have feared. Research conducted by the University of California found that as people age, they tend to care less about external opinions and, instead, begin focusing more on their happiness and self-acceptance. In fact, older adults are more likely to prioritize their own needs and desires, letting go of the weight of others' judgments. I've heard from countless older adults who shared how liberating it feels to finally stop trying to impress anyone. One woman, in her 70s, mentioned how she used to agonize over her appearance in public, but as she grew older, she started to embrace her natural beauty and no longer worried about whether her outfit was perfect. Now, she wears what makes her feel comfortable, and it's made a tremendous difference in her confidence and well-being. The truth is, no one is keeping track of every little detail of your life. Most people are preoccupied with their own lives, facing their own challenges and triumphs. So why waste time and energy worrying about what others think when you could be focused on what truly matters to you, living a joyful and fulfilling life, on your own terms? At 70, it's time to stop seeking validation and start enjoying the freedom of simply being yourself. Another thing that's simply not worth worrying about after 70 is whether you'll achieve your life goals. For most of us, the younger years are filled with this constant pressure to accomplish everything we've dreamed of. From career ambitions to personal achievements, there's always a checklist of things we feel compelled to tick off. The idea of success is often tied to completing a long list of goals, from owning a house to traveling the world, or from raising children to writing a best-selling novel. And as time goes on, there can be this overwhelming feeling that if you haven't checked off every item on that list, somehow you failed. But as you reach 70, it becomes clearer that life isn't just about crossing off a series of tasks. It's about appreciating the journey and the experiences along the way. I've spoken to many individuals in their 70s who admitted they no longer feel the pressure to reach some idealized version of success. Instead, they've come to realize that it's not too late to embrace where they are right now and feel content with their accomplishments. For instance, one man in his 70s shared that he had always dreamed of writing a novel, but life and work had always gotten in the way. For years, he felt regretful about not achieving this goal. But over time, he shifted his mindset. He realized that his life had been full of rich experiences, family, friendships, and personal growth that were just as meaningful, if not more so, than the unfulfilled goal of writing a book. He found joy in sharing his stories with others in simple conversations rather than stressing over the fact that the novel hadn't been written. A study from the American Psychological Association supports this shift in mindset. It shows that life satisfaction actually increases with age. People over 70 tend to feel more at peace with what they've accomplished, focusing on the positive moments and relationships rather than what they haven't achieved. This study revealed that as people age, they become more adept at savoring the present and letting go of unrealistic expectations. So, instead of fixating on the things you haven't yet done, it's important to embrace the many things you've already done. The relationships you've built, the lessons you've learned, and the moments of joy you've experienced are just as significant, if not more so, than any goal you've yet to achieve. At 70, let go of the pressure to achieve perfection. Life is not just about ticking boxes, it's about enjoying the path you've walked, the people you've met, and the wisdom you've gained along the way. Don't let the fear of not achieving everything on your list rob you of the happiness that comes from simply living your life as it is. Next, let's talk about the worry of health issues that may arise as you get older. It's completely natural to be concerned about your health as you age, but obsessing over every little ache or pain won't help you feel any better. As you reach 70, you might start noticing new health challenges, but this is simply a part of the natural aging process. It's something that everyone goes through, and it doesn't mean that your quality of life is doomed. In fact, many older adults live fulfilling lives despite facing health challenges. I remember speaking with a woman in her 70s who was deeply worried about every new health symptom. One day, she felt a slight twinge in her knee and instantly feared the worst, thinking it was a sign of a serious condition. She shared how, at first, her mind would race with worst-case scenarios. But after some time, she came to realize that it wasn't the little aches and pains that were problematic, it was the constant worry that made everything feel much worse than it was. She started to focus more on what she could control, like eating a healthy diet, getting regular exercise, and staying in close touch with her doctor. And to her surprise, once she stopped overthinking every minor health issue, she felt less stressed and more able to enjoy life. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, more than 90% of older adults have at least one chronic health condition. But having a health condition doesn't mean that life can't still be rich and fulfilling. Rather than worrying excessively about every potential health issue, it's much more beneficial to focus on taking proactive steps to maintain your health. Eating a balanced diet, staying active, and scheduling regular checkups can help ensure that you are doing what's best for your body. Constantly worrying about your health will only increase your stress levels, which in turn can actually harm your well-being. So, embrace the idea of taking care of yourself while letting go of the overthinking that often accompanies aging. Your health is important, but worrying about it constantly won't help. It's about balance, care, and being present in the moment. Another major source of worry after 70 is financial insecurity. Many people find themselves stressed about whether they have enough money saved to live comfortably through retirement. It's completely understandable to want to ensure that your finances are in order, but the reality is that constant worry won't help your situation, it will only add to your stress. The truth is, many people over 70 are in a better financial position than they realize, and they often don't give themselves enough credit for what they've built over the years. I once spoke with a couple in their early 70s who had been anxiously watching their savings over the years. They were worried about whether they'd have enough to cover their expenses as they aged. Despite their worries, they never took the time to fully assess their financial situation. After sitting down with a financial advisor, they discovered that they had accumulated more wealth than they thought, thanks to their decades of diligent saving and smart investments. Their net worth was more than double what they had imagined, and they realized that with some adjustments to their spending and lifestyle, they were in a comfortable position to enjoy their retirement without the looming fear of financial insecurity. According to a report by the Federal Reserve, older adults actually have accumulated significant wealth over their lifetimes. The median net worth of households headed by someone aged 65 to 74 exceeds $200,000, which may be far more than many older adults realize. While not everyone will have a fortune at their disposal, it's important to remember that financial security in retirement doesn't always mean having millions in the bank. It's about living within your means and managing what you have wisely. If your finances aren't perfect, it's crucial to keep in mind that worrying won't change a thing. Instead of stressing over what you might not have, focus on what you can control. Budgeting wisely and making sure your resources are being used effectively can go a long way in ensuring a stress-free retirement. There are also plenty of resources available to help manage finances in retirement. Government programs like Social Security can provide essential support, and financial advisors can guide you in maximizing your wealth and planning for the future. The key is to shift the focus from worry to action. Take the steps you can to manage your financial situation without obsessing over it. Worrying about money in retirement isn't going to change anything. Instead, empower yourself with knowledge and strategies to make the most of what you have, and enjoy the peace that comes with financial stability. Another thing you can stop worrying about is keeping up with the latest trends. Whether it's fashion, technology, or even social media, there's often a constant pressure to stay in the loop and keep up with what's hot right now. It's easy to get caught up in this whirlwind of constantly changing trends, especially when it feels like everyone around you is hopping onto the latest bandwagon. But after 70, this worry should be one of the first things to let go of. In fact, the beauty of reaching this stage in life is realizing that you no longer need to follow every new gadget or the latest fashion fad. You've earned the freedom to live life on your terms, without the need to impress anyone or keep up with trends that don't resonate with you. I once spoke with a gentleman in his early 70s who was proudly wearing his vintage leather jacket. He told me how, when he was younger, he used to chase after the latest fashion trends, always worrying about what was in at the moment. He admitted that he'd spent years trying to keep up with fast-changing styles, but now, he felt liberated. His wardrobe was filled with timeless pieces that he genuinely loved. He found that wearing what made him feel good was far more satisfying than ever worrying about whether his clothing was on trend. That jacket, which had become a signature part of his style, wasn't just about looking good, it was a reminder that he no longer had to conform to trends to feel valued. It was his statement, his style, and he owned it. Studies have shown that older adults often experience a greater sense of confidence and self-assurance, which means they're less concerned with following trends and more focused on embracing their own preferences. They've spent decades figuring out who they are, what they like, and what makes them happy. Whether you gravitate towards a classic look or prefer something quirky, there's no pressure to conform. After 70, it's all about wearing what brings you joy and comfort, not about meeting someone else's expectations. It's about feeling authentic in your own skin, in your own style. So, let go of the pressure to stay current and stop worrying about what's trendy. Embrace the things that truly make you happy and focus on what brings you joy, because that's the trend that will always matter most. Finally, you can stop worrying about time running out. As you get older, it's easy to feel like you're running out of time to do everything you've ever wanted to do. It's natural to look back and think about the dreams and goals you still haven't achieved and wonder if you have enough time left to do them. But the truth is, it's not about how much time you have, it's about how you use it. I remember talking to a woman in her late 70s who told me she had always been obsessed with the idea of time slipping away. She spent years feeling like she was constantly in a race against time, always rushing from one task to the next, trying to fit everything in. But as she got older, she realized that it wasn't the ticking clock that mattered, it was the moments she created along the way. She started letting go of the constant pressure and focused more on the experiences that brought her joy, spending quality time with her grandchildren, taking spontaneous weekend trips, and simply enjoying her garden. She said something that stuck with me: when I stopped looking at the clock, I started truly living. Research from the National Institute on Aging has shown that older adults tend to prioritize meaningful experiences and relationships over the pursuit of material things. As you age, you begin to realize that it's not about checking off items on a to-do list or having a long list of accomplishments. It's about the connections you make, the moments that fill your heart with joy, and the way you choose to spend your time. Instead of focusing on how much time you have left, it's more important to focus on making the most of the time you do have. The small moments matter: sharing laughter over a cup of tea with a friend, watching the sunset from your favorite spot, or finally picking up that book you've always wanted to read. The best way to stop worrying about time is to live in the present, appreciating the moments you have right now, instead of constantly thinking about the future. Every day is an opportunity to create a new memory, to connect with the people who matter most, and to do what makes you happy. Time may feel like it's running out, but when you stop chasing it, you'll find that you've been living in it all along. In short, once you reach 70, it's time to stop worrying about certain things that just aren't worth it. Let go of the need for validation from others, the pressure to achieve every goal, and the obsession with health or financial insecurity. Embrace the freedom of living on your own terms and focus on what truly brings you happiness and fulfillment. Remember, you've already lived through many years of experience, and you're more than capable of enjoying this next chapter with peace of mind. So stop worrying and start living your life to the fullest.